Hello everyone, this is Rugio Duelist back with another video. I'm doing a little bit something different this time around. As you can see, I picked up the Legendary Duelist Soulburning Volcano box, which as you can see in the name, comes with the new volcanic Salamangreat battling boxer support. So I was too excited for this one. It's been a while since I last uploaded. So I just decided to open up a box off screen. I just couldn't help myself. I've been waiting for this for months now. Contrary to what you've seen in this channel, I do play other decks besides Floowandereeze. I believe I did at least one deck profile regarding Salamangreat some time ago, and I believe my last video, or second to last video, was a deck profile with Marincess. I really like Cyber's decks in addition to the Floowandereeze bird decks. And so to make up for not opening the box here, I decided to just give a deck profile with my Salamangreat deck with the new support, of course. I have not gotten all the cards, but I got most of them. So again, here to make up for it with the deck profile. I will be using this deck with the new support in these upcoming weeks. All right, guys, let's just get right into it. Again, I apologize if you prefer the box opening of this, perhaps maybe a chance to pull off the ghost rare, but again, I was too excited, so my Salamangreat deck profile will have to make up for that. So let's get started. You guys saw the title on the video, so it's a Salamangreat deck profile with the new support. So let's get started. You guys, anyone who's familiar with Salamangreat knows how this works. So one copy of Salamangreat Gazelle. The card is limited to one, sadly, here in the TCG, but it is at 3 in Master Duel and OCG. But until then, we can only use our one copy, so we are playing the one copy of Gazelle. Hopefully on the next ban list, he'll come back to 3. We are main decking triple copies of Spinny. This one is a must in the deck. Some people play 2. I prefer 3. With my history of playing this deck, it almost never breaks. Doesn't matter if you play 2 or 3, but I like to max out on it because, again, that's just my personal preference. So there's that. But yes, you definitely have to play at least 2 or 3 with this card. We're playing 1 Jaguar. Some people play 2. I prefer 1, as it recycles your Salamangreat cards and it's a special summon. Also triggers Sunlight Wolf, one of the monsters in the extra deck's effect. Some people play 2. I prefer 1 because 9 times out of 10 I do not want to open up with this card, but it's still pretty decent. You have to play at least 1, maybe 2 for 1. So again, all up to personal preference. Next up, we are playing triple copies of the newest card, Salamangreat of Fire. It's a new searcher for Salamangreats upon being summoned. I am missing the 3rd copy, as you can see, but yeah, this card it's optional. But if you're gonna play, you probably should max out to play 2 or 3. I choose to max out on 3, just to test it out. A lot of people in the OCG are playing 3 copies of this card. Looks like it's the newest main deck card that you must play. It does lock you into fire, but that's fine by me because I'm the type of guy that prefers to play decks that pure. If it's a fire deck, then I'm playing a fire deck. Same thing with a water or a wind, earth, that type of stuff. Everyone has their preference. So yeah, triple copies of this guy. Then we are playing 1 copy of the new tuner monster, Salamangreat Weasel. So this guy, you put him back into the deck, I believe, if it's in the graveyard, and you special summon another Salamangreat monster from your graveyard to your opponent's side of the field. It's good against impermanence or evenly matched. That way they can't do that to you. Let's say going second, they can't imperm you and they can't do evenly matched stuff like that, or even Lightning Storm, cards that require your opponent not to have anything face up on the field. It also lets you draw a card, and it is a tuner, so it works with one of the new cards that was released in the set. I'm only playing 1 of him because it can special summon itself, but only if you control only if there's 2 or 3 Salamangreat cards in your field / graveyard, and it's it could sometimes break, so I only play 1. Yeah, 1 Weasel. Then we're playing one copy of the other new card, Salamangreat Tiger. I'm not quite familiar with this card just yet. I've not been able to like seen it. From what I see here, it could special summon itself by discarding another Salamangreat monster. It can also be treated as a non-tuner, which that's pretty cool. It is a level 5, so yeah, it does require another Salamangreat card and a bit of setup to summon. That's the main reason I'm probably playing him as a one-off, just to test it out. It is a pretty cool card nonetheless. Also has level modulation effect on it, from what I'm seeing. Yeah, one Tiger for now. The ratios might change depending on time, but so far that's what it is. 2 copies of Foxy. This is standard. In the past, people used to play 3, but I think 2 is the perfect ratio for this guy. On summon, you know, it's a pot of duality. Lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if lets you add a Salamangreat card if you pull a Salamangreat card. 1 copy of Mole. Mole is so good in this deck. A lot of people don't play Mole enough. Again, if you don't have any monsters on the field, you can just banish this and recycle your entire Salamangreat engine from the graveyard and draw 2 cards. That is incredible. I can't believe people aren't playing like this card at least as a one-up in the deck. It also has an effect where it can special summon itself to the field, and that's pretty good. As a one-up, it's not bad. And to finish off the Salamangreat monsters, 1 copy of Zebroid X for Nibiru. This card has an effect where if like your opponent Nibiru's you can special summon it and another level 4 Salamangreat monster, and basically like Jaguar, the one that showed you earlier, and basically go for a rank XC's monster. So that's the main reason I'm only playing 1. Of course, only 1 of, because that's its only useful effect. 1 copy of Falco. Again, this goes to the graveyard. You can set a spell or trap Salamangreat card from your graveyard to the field. And 1 Foul. He's an extender. So yeah, that's the level 4 package alongside Jaguar. And those are all the Salamangreat main deck monsters. Keeping up with the main deck monsters, 3 copies of Flame Buffalo. No need to explain this guy if for any Salamangreat player, like just get rid of him and another Cyberse monster, which most of the cards in this deck are Cyberse monsters, and draw 2 cards, maxing them out on him. That way we can draw 2 cards with minimal effort. 3 Ash, it's fire, it's a hand trap, why not? This deck is very well known for playing like 15 hand traps. Of course, this is great. It'll always be useful in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive scene. Come here. I am testing this out, or will be testing this out. 3 copies of Ghost Bell. I hear there's a lot of like graveyard like recursion in this format, so yeah, max out on the Ghost Bells. Still, I am gonna be testing it out. Who knows if it'll be good or not? But yeah, 3 copies of Ghost Bell for now. And to finish off the hand traps, at least monster hand traps, 2 copies of Nibiru for any combo decks. Then we are playing, going on to the spells, 1 copy of Salamangreat Sanctuary. 2 copies of Salamangreat Circle. I think 2 is fine. You don't need to max out on this card. Like, you will get Salamangreat cards going first, and you should get to your combo pieces 9 times out of 10 with this deck. 1 copy of Will. Decided to cut this card from 2 to 1. With the new support, I truly believe you only need one copy of this card. And 1 copy of the newest spell card, Salamangreat Charge. This card is better off going second. It does let you special summon a Salamangreat. It's a monster reborn, but it also lets you recycle Salamangreat monsters from the graveyard. It has another like unique effect to pop a card, but it's a little bit say a little bit difficult to pull off, but not quite difficult. Continuing on with the spells, we have 2 copies of Signet Mining. Again, just like Salamangreat Circle, you don't need to max out on this card. You will get your combo pieces 9 times out of 10 in this deck. Plus, I don't like having multiples of this going first or even second, so 2 is the right ratio for me. And to finish off the spells, I'm playing a unique tech, Link Bound. So this card, you can play it during your turn, your opponent's turn. It's a mulligan, and it recycles a Link monster. Lets you draw cards. Basically switch your hand, like good for like getting your hand traps or like extra cards that you need. Yeah, I'm testing it out as a one-off, and a one-off it is. 1 Link Bound. Now going on to the trap cards, it is a 41 card deck, so we are playing, of course, the 1 Roar, Omni Negate for Salamangreat, standard, the 1 Rage, pop effect for Salamangreat, standard, and the newest trap card, I'm going to test it out. I may or may not cut it depending on how it performs. Salamangreat Revive. So this new card, it's a monster reborn during your opponent's turn. It also has a graveyard effect, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it boosts up a Salamangreat card by returning another copy of itself to the extra deck. So yeah, I'm just playing one, like definitely one, or don't play it at all. It might be pretty decent, but testing needs to be done. So yeah, those are the 3 Salamangreat trap cards in the deck. And finally, to finish off the main deck, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Our final hand trap, and anyone who's played this game for the last like 4 to 5 years know what this trap card does. Very powerful. It'll always have its moment, be useful in the format just like Ash Blossom. Now, let's move on to the side deck. So for the side deck, nothing's perfect. I'm just testing some stuff out. Going first, this is more so for time. Spiritual Fire Arc Kurenai to burn the opponent for game by triggering one of our fire monsters. Probably not the best one to use. I'm just testing it out in the side deck as a 3-up. I'll most probably cut this card out, possibly, because I don't think winning in time is not the best effective way to like play Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! According to some people. But I like this card. I'm just testing it out, see if how consistent it is to like draw it, use it, and like win in time and burn your opponent. Maybe not even burn your opponent for like win in time. Perhaps just like burn him and for game or something like that in the grind game. Who knows? Yeah. The side deck 3. Still testing it out. 3 copies of Twin Twister for back row removal. This deck does not mind discarding from time to time. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster for back row removal. The 3rd Nibiru, just in case. Against decks mostly like Kashtira, because this deck loses to Kashtira and of course loses to this. So let's counter by getting another one. The 1 copy of Pankratops is limited. Going second for this deck. It's good. Just special summon it and get rid of like an annoying card your opponent has on the board. Going second. Final 6 cards. We are side decking 2 copies of Dogoran the Matte Flame Kaiju. Fire Kaiju. It's a fire deck, so why not? Just in case. Against like Kashtira Rysar, which is like the main boss monster to defeat in this format for Kashtira, because it's a Macrocosmos, aka banishes the whole board as long as it's on the field, and in this deck we do not want that. So 2 Fire Kaijus, 1 Blaster, the Dragon Ruler of Infernos, which is the Dragon Ruler that came out recently in the ban list. A great piece of support for this deck, because it's a fire dragon monster. It's very good going second. Just pop a card, or resurrect him, and get a 2800 beat stick on the board. And it's fire, so why not? And to round up the side deck, 3 copies of Book of Eclipse, specifically for Kashtira. It also works to like bait out some like Omni Negates. It's a very good card, and it's not once per turn, so... And that's it for the side deck. Now let's go to the extra deck, because the extra deck is probably what I'm very, very excited about. So for the extra deck, we are... It's right here. It's mostly, not much has changed. It's probably going to be, mine is a little bit different. Again, I play more of a pure variant. 3 copies of Baylings, your main Link 1. Also, your main Protector if your Salamangreat cards get destroyed by battle or card effect. 2 Sunlight Wolf. Decided to cut Sunlight Wolf to 2. I think right now for competitive purposes, 2 Sunlight Wolf in the extra is fine. You don't need to max out on triple Sunlight Wolf. It is an option, but I personally don't like to. 1 Mirage Stalio. This card is back to 3, but you only need 1. You only need to resolve its effect like once or twice during the duel. Like at the beginning, going first or second, or in the grind game. 2 copies of Heatleo. Our back row removal on summon. Our League 3. And 2 copies of the newest boss monster, Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. This card is officially replacing Pyro Phoenix. When it's reincarnated Link Summon, this guy lets us search any Salamangreat card in our deck. And if any of your fire monsters is destroyed by battle or card effect, this guy resurrects himself and gains attack equal to the monster that was destroyed. And for our final 5 cards, 1 Violet Chimera. More on this in a few seconds. 1 Blaze Dragon. 4 Nibiru. 1 copy of Salamangreat Burst Griffin. This is the other newest extra deck / piece of support that Salamangreat got. The Synchro Monster. It's basically a monster reborn for fire monsters during your turn. The second effect is not relevant because you need to basically tune and summon another copy of this itself, and the other effect is not very relevant. It's just too slow by modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! One proxy F magician, so the point behind summoning this guy is basically use this effect during the main phase, summon Violet Chimera and boost up Violet Chimera and attack for game. And our final card will be Fire Phoenix at Ignister, which if you attack, you'll burn your opponent for 23, and it's a generic Fire Cybers monster. It's good for time, burn your opponent, and it's not too bad. Its arrows are actually pretty cool. And that is the Salamangreat Deck Profile. I will bring this to locals. I will test it out, and I will practice a lot with this deck. It's been a while since I played with this. Hopefully you guys like and enjoyed this deck profile. My deepest apologies if you prefer the box opening, but right now I was just so excited to get this ASAP, so I couldn't help myself. Hope you guys like the lists. Your opinion is valid. Like to, if you can, like to know what your guys' opinion is. Your opinion on the deck, if it's good or bad, doesn't matter. Just want some feedback. Would appreciate it. But end of the day, it's your decision. It's been a while. I'm gonna go to three regionals. Probably not playing this. You gotta play what you feel is most comfortable to you in big tournaments. I will be going to 3 regionals this month in August, God forbid. And that is it. That is my Salamangreat deck profile with the updated new pieces of support. I really like the set. It's so cool. It's very cool. I'm glad that the Salamangreat got new support, as well as Volcanics. Like, finally, the community's been waiting like 15 years for this. And I was not expecting Salamangreat. I actually thought we would get like something else, and maybe Salamangreat would get more support in the future. But like, I'm not complaining at all. So that's it. It was great to show another video to you guys once again. All right, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist signing out. Play if you can.